Hello, this is Force 13 Live. It's 2 o'clock on the East Coast, and that's where this camera is. One of many on the East Coast of Florida. This is, I believe, the Fort Lauderdale area or somewhere like that. Lauderdale by the sea. The northeast tip of Fort Lauderdale. It's a barrier island, so this place will be somewhere to watch as time goes on today. The conditions are going to get worse as time goes on. My name's Nathan Foy, I'm joined by the team. Hello, who do we have right now? It's Lee, Craig, and Nathan Bell.
Yes,
thank you.
Good evening.
Thank you. We're Storm Masters.
So, any new thoughts that have formulated in your head since the break?
Well, I've got some new information about Matthew on radar, that there is now a second eye wall fully formed, and the old eye is now beginning to die. So there is an eye wall replacement occurring within Matthew at this precise moment in time. So you can start saying that there's some sort of relief that it's starting to do an eye wall replacement. But as we know from storms that have done eye wall replacements, they've tend to benefit from it, and that's not been good. And we can name a couple of storms that have done that and benefited quite badly.
So as you can see, there's rain on this webcam. It's pretty light at the moment. You think this looks bad, it's going to get a lot worse, I gotta say. There's even further north towards West Palm Beach onwards is the places that we're probably going to be watching later tonight, Craig. And I see what you mean by that radar, by the way. Could you screen share it at all to show everyone else?
Yes. That's probably why you'll see the eye starting to struggle to come out. That's probably been coming for some time, that eye wall replacement. I mean, it's incredible seeing that Matthew's kept that eye since he became a Cat 5, you think about it. He's not really done any eye wall replacements. He's been fighting it.
Well, no obvious ones. We don't know for sure.
Well, you could probably tell he's definitely been fighting it, because that's why he's been struggling to get the eye out. We've seen storms this year that have fought eye wall replacement cycles. Mariante fought one for 2 days before giving in, finally. The Partak tried to fight one, failed, ended up doing it immediately. Thankfully didn't recover, thank God. Mariante didn't recover, obviously due to Taiwan interference due to the mountains. And this one, obviously fighting since Cat 5, quote unquote. It's seeing a storm fight an eye wall replacement is, in a way, for land is good, because that means the storm can die.
Let me read out the latest update, Craig, and the warnings.
Yes, go on.
Matthew has got winds of 140 miles an hour, pressured 939 millibars. A hurricane warning is in effect for the central Bahamas, including Long Island, Exuma, Rum Cay, San Salvador, and Cat Island. The northwestern Bahamas, including the Abarcos, Andros Island, Berry Islands, Bimini, Eleuthera, Grand Bahama Island and New Providence, north of Golden Beach, Florida to Edisto Beach, South Carolina, and Lake Okeechobee. A hurricane watch is in effect for north of Edisto Beach to South Sante River, South Carolina, California, oh god. A tropical storm warning is in effect for Chokoloskee to Golden Beach, Florida Keys from 7 Mile Bridge eastward, Florida Bay and Anclote River to Suwannee River, and a tropical storm watch is in effect for north of Chokoloskee to Anclote River as well.
And just going back to the radar, Nathan, you can see in the last frame, couple of frames here, how this the old eye
we're not
is
able
now,
to see it at the moment, Craig.
well, just looking at the old frames from the latest radar that I've got up. Anyway,
I might be able to bring it to the viewers in a moment, actually, if you just bear with me. The viewers, that is,
I'm
not
just
you,
seeing
Craig.
the eye walls. I'm just seeing that, just looking at the eye wall, seeing it's that the old eye is completely detached from the newer eye, trying to stop that one. So you could clearly see that Matthew was trying to fight it again. But thankfully, hopefully, this time he's losing it, and then this time he's being forced to do one, whether he likes it or not. Not saying he's being forced, but he's end up going to do one regardless anyway. So let's hope this is a little bit of breathing space for Florida and the rest of the Bahamas.
Oh, there you are. You can see the latest radar image. It tells you about the northernmost of the Bahamas as well there, Freeport was it. And you can see it's about to get hit by the edge of that eye wall. Looking at rainfall, as I said, only those green areas for Fort Lauderdale, yet despite that it's looking like this. So who knows what the yellow and red areas will look like when the storm arrives, not to mention storm surge. And we'll be watching this very closely.
When it's
There's a
looking at the
lot of
live stream.
rain that is beginning to come on shore. Definitely.
Certainly is.
Oh yeah, and you can see how the storms progressed here. Just going to go back to the look there. Seeing how the storms progressed, I mean, the storms went from basically looking like your common hurricane on radar. Obviously, look at the second eye wall. You can see here the second eye wall looking like it's beginning to form around the old eye. So then you can see the rest of it. So this eye wall replacement has been coming for some time. So there you can see the eye wall is now complete. It's completely formed, so it's getting ready to go under an eye wall replacement at any time. You can see here that this part of the eye wall, the original eye, has now started to decay along.
Can you
eventually
to the
old
viewers,
Sorry?
can you explain to the viewers what is a eye wall replacement, please?
Well, an eye wall replacement is where thunderstorms around the eye choke it, and then it forces the storm to create a brand new eye, forcing the old one to start to decay, start dying away, start to fade. And then the new eye can steal its energy and start to form around the older. So mainly the good imagery to see it would probably, in my mind, would be going back to see Typhon Sodalor when he did his eye wall replacement. You saw a small pinhole eye in the center, and then you saw the brand new eye forming around it. Then when you saw the old eye start to get sucked towards the eye wall, the brand new eye, that's where the new eye started to steal. Well, since it's been forming, it would steal the old eye's energy, causing the storm to weaken a bit, and then obviously it could explode in intensity, becoming what Typhon Sodalor did, became 180 miles per hour, whilst Nathan was on holiday. Not you, Nathan.
Shut up.
The original Nathan.
Don't mention that on there.
What
Embarrassing.
too late.
It looks like to the west of Miami, it's mostly tropical storm warnings. West of Miami, mostly tropical storm warnings, if y'all can agree with that.
Oh, that's
West
agreeable.
Okay, let's see what questions we've got. How does Matthew compare to Andrew as far as strength and size?
We've been seeing so much.
No.
Well, the question was how does, not does it.
Oh, right. Never mind. I'm just gonna go in.
How does it compare? I get the person's reaction there and people comparing it to Andrew, because it is in a very similar position that Andrew was in geographically, but it's going a different direction. It's going to cause different impacts. It's much Matthew is weaker but larger, so you'd expect more wide-ranging impacts but less severe impacts overall. But when you say less severe compared to Andrew, that's not saying much, because Andrew wiped out Homestead after all.
Completely.
There's the latest radar imagery as you're looking on the screen, and you just saw the watches and warnings underneath. There they are again for the southern part of Florida at least, and those color codes will help you out a bit there, showing where the hurricane warnings are, the tropical storm warnings, and others.
Not a lot of heavy rain coming on shore as of yet, but that is definitely about to change.
So there's the look right now at near Fort Lauderdale, and yep, it's looking a bit gusty. The trees blowing about, and yeah, not much else for me to say there.
Yeah, there's not much wave action going on. in the Fort Lauderdale area. What about Miami? Can you get a Miami webcam going? See what we got over
Yeah,
there.
we saw some of those in the last hour, but I just want to get some questions first.
Okay.
How long till landfall if it's going to happen? Well, if it makes landfall near West Palm Beach, it would be during the evening tonight. If it was going to make landfall a bit further north, doesn't really matter where it makes landfall. All those locations north of West Palm Beach look like they're going to get hurricane force conditions or worse. We'll obviously be tracking all the webcams as the day goes on. We will bring you back to Miami Beach in a moment, but in the meantime, anything that you guys would like to say?
Just also to say, looking at the IR and RAM, starting to see some green appear around the eye. Not that the eye is, it's the old eye itself is clearing out, but I'm starting to see what could be the new eye starting to form visually. So if visible hanging around for long enough, which I know it won't, not for long anyway, you could start seeing the beginnings of the eye wall replacement. I don't think it is there yet because on visible I don't really see it as of yet, but it will start to appear maybe during the night time. But seeing a hurricane do that sort of action, especially this close to land, man, you don't know what he's going to do next, because this is another thing that makes him unpredictable. I mean, he's fought the eye wall replacements for quite a bit now, but might be a relief to see him finally do one, because it might weaken him, which will give Florida some consolation at least. But if it doesn't, then he could maintain intensity at 140 miles an hour if he's lucky. But if he does maintain it, then well, he's one lucky hurricane to even sustain those sort of wind speeds whilst doing an eye wall replacement. Yes, it's possible for a hurricane to do that whilst still having whilst doing an eye wall replacement. We saw that a couple of times. Not during, well, I don't know whether it's been recorded during hurricanes, but I know it's happened during typhoons and cyclones. But you know, you never know. It might weaken, it might stay the same, but you certainly hope it doesn't stay the same. But in some way, if it does, it's another consolation because it's not strengthened in any way, shape, or form. And I don't know what it'll do next. He might, decide to start weakening now, or form that new eye and get it out and start showing the world it. Going, look what I've done a new eye wall replacement finally. But
what's the beach
I'm pretty
we're
sure not
looking
a lot
at
of
here?
people would want that.
That's South Beach in Miami.
What's the beach? That's South Beach, Miami. Okay, I can start seeing some waves increasing there. It's definitely some wind, a little bit.
Okay, but the tropical storm force winds will be quite a while offshore yet, probably encountering at least tropical depression forced, if that.
Yeah, winds around the area. Offshore, definitely into the 30-mile-an-hour range now. Onshore, you're still in the 20s. It's breezy though, definitely. And obviously gusts into the 30s.
And plus, I can't stress enough the flooding threat. It is to the extreme with this storm. Don't you guys think
the surge is probably not going to be all that bad down in the Miami area, but further north, it's going to be significant.
It will
as
be.
As I've said a few times, I'm concerned about Daytona Beach and the areas around it, cities north and south of it, because it could strike at high tide in that area. But that's going to be tomorrow's big threat and probably tomorrow's big talking point. But for today, the storm is drawing ever closer to the coast of Florida. There's the latest satellite imagery. As you can see, it's pretty much level in latitude with Miami now. Miami is probably the closest place to the storm in Florida, though it isn't going that way, as you can see. And at the moment,
I can tell it's not going that way.
Well, yeah, at the moment, I do wonder whether it's moving slightly north of forecast there, Craig, because if you extrapolate its current track, it would have to bend west a bit more to fulfill the National Hurricane Center's track, and if it doesn't, it's going to stay off the coast a little bit more than we think.
But as long as if it keeps moving northwest the way it's doing, which they're supposedly saying it is, then there could be that obviously that the landfall that the NHC have in quotation marks predicted to happen.
There's been a close one.
Oh yeah. I mean, when we compare close, in my mind, I can compare this to Super Typhoon, the old Philippines close. That's a bad combination there, but still, it's my best one I've got. I done goofy did that.
Yeah.
But I don't care. But still, it's my that's my way of saying it.
Developing in Florida right now. I just want to reiterate that there are a lot of rain bands developing. From Daytona Beach south, Orlando being affected by one, Lakeland being affected by one. Tampa hasn't seen nothing yet. Well, that's another thing. I have not seen any rain in Tampa yet, but I do think we will see rain.
Yeah, it will arrive.
Especially when it's under tropical storm warning at the minute, or tropical storm watch.
Tropical storm watch. But Craig, you can definitely see on the radar imagery there the concentric eye walls.
Oh yeah.
Tropical storm warning for north of Tampa, but Tampa is under a tropical storm watch.
Yeah, north and south of Tampa are under tropical storm warnings.
And why is that? That's my question. Why isn't Tampa included in that tropical storm warning and just north of Tampa it is?
Sorry? Was that a question?
Yes, that was a question. I said, why is Tampa under a tropical storm watch, but just north of Tampa, they're under a tropical storm warning? Wouldn't it be smart to put a tropical storm warning all the way down that eastern coastline, including Sarasota, the western coast, St. Petersburg, Cape Canaveral, Cape something, Sarasota, East Naples, stuff like that. Why shouldn't they put?
Well, if the hurricane keeps east, I mean, we saw signs that it could well be going east of predicted. Then there wouldn't be any need for tropical storm warnings. And at the moment, I think they're just sort of waiting and seeing and see what happens. Yes, someone on the text told me that the President Barack Obama has declared a state of emergency in Florida, but I thought Florida had already had a state of emergency declared, only that this time it's come from the President rather than the Florida governor. I don't know whether it's a different kind of state of emergency, but I was under the impression that that was already the case. But in any case, there's the latest webcam. That's from I forget now. I think that's North Miami Beach area that we're looking at right now.
Yeah, now we're starting to see some pretty good wave action. Not peak wave action yet, but definitely some wave action there.
And we'll keep you on top of it all as time progresses, but at the moment we're just waiting around. And you see, if the storm is heading towards Miami right now, you know, it isn't getting any closer to Miami at the moment. Not that they're in the clear, but the worst of the storm looks like it's going to stay pretty far away from Miami itself. I've got to say, it would take a quite abrupt turn for West Palm Beach to receive hurricane force conditions at present, but we assume that Fort Lauderdale northwards will receive hurricane force winds. That's why the hurricane warning's out. But at the moment, I reckon it's going a bit north of where it was expected to go.
And if it keeps going that way, I really would not see any tropical storm stuff in Key West much. too much.
Oh yeah, of course
If
not.
you agree on that.
Well, they've never had a warning.
But-
Marathon's under a tropical storm warning. Key Largo likewise. And there's some squally weather in that area right now. Rain area it's just going over Marathon.
Yeah.
And there's some rain areas heading very close to Fort Lauderdale now as well. And those winds will probably get up when that arrives in, well, how long do you reckon that will take? Maybe half an hour, perhaps? This loop is about 40 minutes long, so from start to finish it's 40 minutes, maybe a bit more than half an hour, till Fort Lauderdale gets hit by more significant rainfall. And we'll bring the webcam from there back up
I
soon.
can see what you mean on that. Yeah, I can see that. I agree.
Craig?
And I'm starting to see what you guys mean on that eye wall and stuff like that. It's actually, there's a new eye wall developing to the south of it, basically. Eye to the south.
There's the latest from Fort Lauderdale right now. I don't know whether anyone
And
else
again,
in the room, whether Craig or Lee have any thoughts right now.
I do see a little bit of dry air still. Not weakening it, but definitely shaving off some of the moisture, yes. Well, that's interesting. Those waves are going kind of diagonal now. They're not coming straight in, they're coming more diagonal. If you're seeing what I'm talking about there.
Yeah, I see. I don't know whether that's beyond normal or not. But I
don't know, but I do see two people walking.
There's people down there,
close
definitely.
to me.
Oh, look, the camera's just tilted there.
Yeah, people are definitely down there and definitely need to take heed on this, because they don't need to be out there. They're just going, "Whoa, there's some waves going on. Let's go in there."
Oh dear. Yeah.
See where they're going. They're trying. Yeah, they want to go.
They're nuts.
Looks like they're going in there.
They're nuts.
That's not smart.
Very nuts. Very nuts.
That's not smart, guys. As you guys are watching this live on the chat here, tell us what you guys think of those two people just standing where those waves are, because I know their rip current is definitely on a high threat.
Well, they didn't go in yet, but we'll see what happens. I mean, goodness, I wouldn't want to witness anything bad happening live on air. Anyway, you can see some developing showers there east of Everglades City, over the rest of the Everglades. So it looks like there's some rainfall. That's the worst rainfall I can see on the whole radar loop, actually, to be honest. And we'll take a look further north as well for people watching further north in Florida too.
Yeah. Take a look at the north radar. What other radars are there in Florida that we can look at? That's in Central Florida. Is there an Orlando radar we can look at?
Yeah, there's a radar out of Melbourne which will show you what's going on further north, but just wait on that for a few moments here.
All right.
You're watching Force 13 live. The time is 2:24 Eastern Time, and we're keeping you up to date on the latest from Matthew. And until I get anything for you properly, I will just leave you with this image that the storm is moving to the northeast. The northwest, sorry.
Yeah, update on the severe weather threat. Right now, let me take a look.
Don't know where he went.
Severe weather threats going up for plane. That's just an update on that. We'll stay monitored. One sec. I just got an SPC alert here. They're talking about putting a tornado watch out for Wichita, Topeka, Kansas City, Omaha, St. Joseph. All those areas more than likely to be under a tornado watch.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Just want to pass that along to you guys that are watching from the plains.
Thank you very much for that, and we'll keep you up to date on anything else that goes on. Let me reiterate some of the flooding concerns then. There is a flash flood watch for the following. A flash flood watch in effect from Friday morning through late Saturday night for the following: Southeast Georgia and Southeast South Carolina, Effingham, Inland Bryan, Inland Chatham, Inland Liberty, Inland McIntosh and Long, Hampton, Inland Colleton and Inland Jasper from Friday morning through late Saturday night. Also, have I read out those ones? Nope. I'm not sure actually. Yes, I have. I'm trying to find the new stuff. Other flash flood watches in Northeast South Carolina. In Southeast North Carolina, it's Coastal Brunswick, Coastal New Hanover, Coastal Pender, Columbus, Inland Brunswick, Inland New Hanover, and Inland Pender. In Northeast South Carolina, it's Coastal Georgetown, Coastal Horry, Florence, Inland Georgetown, Inland Horry, Marion, and Williamsburg. That's late tonight through Sunday afternoon for a flash flood watch with rain totals expected to be 7 to 11 inches from Hurricane Matthew. There is also a flood watch from 8 a.m. this morning until Saturday morning. A flood watch for Coastal Camden, Coastal Glynn, Inland Camden and Inland Glynn, thanks to Hurricane Matthew, with torrential rainfall amounts of 6 to 9 inches, with locally higher amounts possible in that watch area. As you can see, no rainfall occurring on the coast of South Carolina yet. It's all eyes on Florida for the time being. In Florida, there are some flood warnings right now, and I'm just going to get them to you momentarily. So the flood warnings are as follows. The St. Johns River, including Astor, moderate flooding is forecast, thanks to Matthew. Myakka River State Park, and Horse Creek near Arcadia is under a flood warning. Peace River at Bartow, Zolfo Springs, and Arcadia under a flood warning as well. That's the latest radar further north. I'll take you back south shortly. Until then, we'll leave you with that satellite image right there, as we get towards 2:30. We'll get onto your comments shortly as well. Start your comment with Force 13, makes it a lot easier for us over here to see it. Let's get back to that. There it is, the radar coverage of Matthew. And for South Florida, just to let you know if you didn't know already, there's the tropical storm warnings for Marathon, Key Largo and all points in between, Homestead, Miami, and then you've got Naples and Everglades City over there in that tropical watch area, and then Fort Lauderdale onwards, hurricane warning northwards there along the coast and inland all the way to the county lines inland, and over Lake Okeechobee as well, it's a hurricane warning. And there is said hurricane moving towards the north right now, it would appear.
I have returned. So what are you showing here?
We've gone back to the webcam now, and there's a lot of people on the beach, out of shot almost.
Yeah, it is a
having
shot.
fun, it seems, ahead of the hurricane.
Definitely not smart.
We'll return to that shortly. So there's the latest on Matthew's satellite imagery, and we'll get an updated version of that shortly. Latest National Hurricane Center map looks like that. Still predicting the storm to reach the eastern coast of Florida, but I have to say it's been veering north a little bit in those last few radar frames by the looks of things, and I just wonder
going
whether
that
it
way,
will...
it's going to impact more. It's going to impact more Central Florida than South Florida. It looks like South Florida.
First and foremost, it will hit the Bahamas.
Yes, definitely.
There's another view out of Fort Lauderdale right now. Not looking so bad at that location.
Is Fort Lauderdale on the west coast
East.
or the east coast of Florida?
It certainly
Coast,
seems to
South
be
Florida.
raining over there. Visibility's down. But that's the view from Fort Lauderdale. And we'll bring you more webcams from all around Florida. Let's take you to the other side. This is what Fort Myers looks like right now. Ironically, that's on the other side, the less bad side, and it's empty. Not a soul.
I think that's a good decision. They took no chance. They took no chance. They wasn't going to take any chances with this storm, so they
Well,
decided
maybe just
to.
don't fancy the beach today.
And
People are on the beach in the hurricane warning zones, and no one's on the beach in the tropical storm watch zones. How about it? We'll bring you more as soon as we can. Let's see.
where is it right now? Where? Actually, I see a little bit of blue sky out there.
Yeah, that's
I
on
think
that was on the western coast, but now we're looking at St. Lucie, and that's actually got sound, believe it or not.
Oh.
And we'll leave you with that for just a few moments whilst we take to some comments, because it's been neglected slightly. So, let's start your comments for Force 13. Magic Ninja says, is there any chance at all that Matthew will fizzle out, change direction, and Florida won't be hit? Well, that's what we've been commentating on here. It could be moving more north now. Strat Becker tells me St. Johns County just suspended sandbag distribution due to the proximity of Matthew, which is interesting. Other comments, can we say something about Nicole? Well, it's a hurricane, but it's not really a priority. Keegan says, can you explain the double eye wall formation and what it means on the radar? Well, this can happen periodically, where storms can have a double eye wall, and that usually means that nothing in particular, but just that the storm is perhaps thinking about an eye wall replacement cycle, which generally weakens a storm, but certainly in the short term it increases the amount of heavy rainfall near the center of the storm and bad weather near the center. But that, as you can see, the outer band, the outer eye wall, as you may call it now, is way offshore Florida, but the northernmost Bahamas, I think it's Grand Bahama, is going to feel it significantly. And I think Bimini is somewhere on this map, but I haven't a clue where.
Let me look here. Okay.
Again, we'll bring you more webcams through the afternoon and evening as the storm draws ever closer, and that's part of our updates this evening.
The biggest rain band I'm seeing is to the east of Everglades City. That's the biggest rain band I'm seeing, and I've seen some wave action off in the distance there.
Just to reiterate, there's now a recon heading into Matthew, or getting ready to go in.
And now you can see here at northern Fort Lauderdale that the winds have gotten right up here, and there must be the onset of some more rainfall. Well, I guess it was what we saw on the radar. That area, those yellow areas that are heading in towards Fort Lauderdale, guessing they're getting pretty close, and that's what's causing that wind.
They're saying right now in the chat with Susan, Daytona cam is down. Daytona cams are.
Well, I'm not sure why, because it's going to be a long time until Daytona gets the worst of the storm. This one seems to have stopped just for the time being. So we'll return to that or some other webcam at some point. Let's go back to Miami Beach and see what it looks like on there, whether it's just as windy as what we saw in Fort Lauderdale just now. We're just waiting on that. But Craig, when do you think they'll get into the storm, Recon? Is he not with us anymore? There's one shot from Miami Beach.
Let me see here. See. In Miami Beach.
And now we'll take you a little bit further north to the camera we were looking at earlier. There it is, that's North Miami Beach area.
North Miami Beach, I'm starting to see some wave action there. So,
That's looking a bit
and I see a
calmer.
lot of people.
With the, yeah,
Well,
you're looking at Miami
not
Beach just then,
really.
you got a delay, but this is North Miami Beach, there's no one there right now. I don't think that I have seen any people on this particular stretch.
Nobody there, no.
Yeah, so interesting. So I think someone was saying a curfew is in effect for Jacksonville Beach starting at 10 tonight until Saturday.
Will that be smart? That's interesting. That's definitely interesting.
Yeah, and
'cause
people keep sending
Jacksonville's on the
messages as
northern
well
part of
saying
Florida.
that, sorry to interrupt, people keep sending messages as well asking will it move west. No, it looks like it's doing the opposite of that right now. Let's shift back to the radar imagery and show you what the storm's doing. This is the latest radar loop. You can see that the storm is moving maybe just east of north right now in these last few frames. This is over the course of 40 minutes. The centre of the storm isn't getting all that much closer to Matthew. Sorry, what was I saying? The centre of the storm isn't getting all that closer
Stuart
to
sent the
Florida.
call down to yeah.
Sorry?
Strat is on the call ready to screen share if
Oh,
you
he is
want
he?
it as well. Yes.
Didn't even know. Well, Strat, go right ahead and show us some new stuff. If there's anything you'd like to show us.
There's still that one rain band. It's going towards Marathon. Other than that, just a lot of light rain in South Florida.
Yep, not too much going on just yet, but the wind speeds are starting to increase a little bit.
Yeah,
But,
wind speeds are increasing.
Sorry?
I don't see a lot of heavy rain bands yet.
Well,
But
there
a
will
lot
be
of
some
wave
rainfall
action.
occurring in the Fort Lauderdale area very soon, I should think. And we'll keep giving you more information on this as time goes on. Not much to say at this juncture apart from looking at all the webcams and the latest. And we'll stay on top of everything. All in one stream, believe it or not. Yes, it's possible. And there is Fort Lauderdale, near Fort Lauderdale, which seems to be the windiest place with a webcam right now.
I don't know why the cams in Daytona are down. That is a surprise.
It's weird.
So, I
It could be just some technical glitch, but I can assure you it's not caused by the hurricane because it's not even there yet. It's not made itself known there yet.
It might have been an isolated storm wind. Definitely possible.
No, I doubt it. I doubt it. Not much has happened on radar in Daytona Beach. But there's the latest from Fort Lauderdale
I
area,
think
which
he
is
has
breezy.
started to shift to the right as I said would be possible, as we are currently in much lower solar activity and everything. So
Well, I didn't
I
think it
think there's
would
a-
go right, to be honest.
yeah, I think it's starting to move right.
Well, it's clear to see on the
but-
radar imagery that it has been moving
Yes.
north right now.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway,
Center of the storm is literally right on the edge of that screen there. And,
And you think it might stay on that edge? It might. I mean,
well,
definitely
who
might.
knows? Who knows? But, you know, we'll be keeping you on top of the information no matter what happens.
Yep, new eye starting to appear invisible.
Would you like to show us?
I will indeed. I'll try and highlight it to the best of my abilities, but I'm starting to see it now. Let me just quickly get that visible image up. Let me just update it to see if everything's up to date, because I'm starting to depict it now.
The eye
Oh,
is
yes.
actually had.
Oh yes, that's a brand new eye, all right. Oh,
All right.
that's
You
that's
sound
an eye
way
wall replacement.
excited.
Not really. I didn't think it was that clear, but you can definitely see that it is starting to come very, very apparent. Here's your brand new eye, folks. There's a new eye wall.
Yeah,
And
we can't
there's
see
your
anything,
starting
Greg.
to-
Sorry.
What?
Can Strat show it?
Oh, I'm gonna lose my temper with this screen share.
He might have issues
I
as
can
well.
see it on the call. I can actually see it on the call. Yeah.
Really? Well, I'm seeing absolutely
Yes,
nothing.
I can see it. Yeah.
I can't see Nicole right now. But one thing with Matthew, it's actually heading more towards Freeport City in the Bahamas. If it continues that way, it will
Yeah.
slam Freeport and really spare Florida if it keeps making this northward track. I still think some rain is going to happen for Florida, definitely.
Indeed. There's the wide shot showing you all the rainfall that's occurring elsewhere. And as you can see, there's some rain bands just passing Orlando, beyond Orlando now. And again, yeah, the Daytona Beach area might be having some rainfall, but I wouldn't have thought it would have knocked out a stream. You know, these
I
cameras are
agree.
pretty durable these days. Wouldn't survive a Category 5 hurricane, but, you know, it would survive a little score line like that, and out of band, you would have thought. There's the latest. And there is the close-up in southern Florida. So, any questions, start your message with Force 13 and we'll get to them. Did it hit Miami yet? Well, as you can see, not really. And no other questions at this point, so we must be doing a decent job, otherwise people will be asking us everything. But then people will ask us everything now I've said it. Anyway, anyone want to comment on Nicole?
I think Nicole's done pretty good actually. I think it's a very nice small hurricane. But I do expect it will be made out to sea for the foreseeable future.
Right.
Maybe affect Bermuda further down the line, but I don't see anything just now.
And as I said, plenty more questions. Cody Neyman says damage estimation for Cape Canaveral could be high potentially, but if the storm is going to continue moving north, then we might have a shock. But we'll still maintain for the time being that damages will be high, you would expect, if people haven't prepared properly. And am I safe near Ocala? Well, tropical storm force conditions are quite likely there. Basically, practice common sense and you should be fine. The cartoon man says, where do you think the eye will hit if it hits Florida? Well, because of the geography of Florida and the slope of the coastline beyond Palm Beach as you go north, it's a difficult question. It could be anywhere from West Palm Beach to Jacksonville to not even Florida at all. So it's still an if more than a when, particularly with that latest northern motion, but we do expect that it will turn back towards the northwest, at least at the moment. Magpie Gamer says, will Hurricane Matthew strengthen to a Cat 5 again? Unlikely, but if anyone else here disagrees, let us know. Will the hurricane loop back to Florida? It's a possibility, but it's likely to be a much weaker storm by the time it does. How do you think it will interact with Nicole? Well, the fact that Nicole is stronger means that it's less likely to absorb Nicole. However, with the storms being of significant intensities, both of them, they will probably deflect each other's paths. Where is Nicole heading? Well, ask Nicole. No one really knows. It's certainly not going to Florida, I can tell you that much.
The people tracking Nicole, because that could definitely impact the track of Matthew if it goes more towards the west.
No. I'm telling you now,
definitely not.
Because Nicole will get pushed
I
away.
think Nicole's actually being controlled by Matthew. I think Matthew's stopping it from...
Yes, because Matthew's the more
going
stronger,
west
and Matthew will be the dominant.
Yeah, Nicole's a lovely little hurricane, but
it
it's
could
going
push
to be...
it more towards the coast.
Sorry?
It could push it more towards the coast. It could push Matthew towards the coast.
No.
More.
No, I don't think so.
And just to reiterate here, there is now convection starting to increase on Matthew, and that is definitely a shine. What's a shine? a shine of convection.
A what?
A sign of convection a sign of a rising convection, not in temperature, but a decrease in the cloud top's temperature, starting to show specks of -80, indicating that there is an eye wall replacement. Well, this does during an eye wall replacement does increase convection, causing thunderstorm activity. So this shows that the storm could be trying to maintain itself and protect itself from any dryer that could be lingering. So this is definitely a sign of a eye wall replacement. And that's basically it for now anyway. That's from the eye wall replacement side of it.
If you're at Naples right now, that's what it looks like at the pier. I've been on that pier actually, and it was windy on that day as well. It doesn't look all that bad as some people on the beach. Yeah, that's Naples. And that is under a tropical storm watch. People don't seem to be too concerned about it, and I don't think they'll need to be for much longer because the storm seems to be heading away from Naples. But that's what Naples looks like.
Getting more sunny there. They might have a beautiful rest of the day.
Maybe.
Where that camera's at.
Let's not say for certain just yet.
Right.
And just going to see if we can get somewhere else now. This is Biscayne Bay in Miami. As you can see, a murky day. Looks pretty still though. Doesn't look particularly...
Do we have a metropolitan Miami cam going?
Who knows? I don't know at this point. But we'll see what we can get.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's pretty.
Okay, this one looks a little bit worse. This is an elevation, obviously, but that's looking down at downtown Miami. That's what that webcam looks like. That looks pretty ominous compared to the one that we just saw. I think those two cameras are only a few miles apart. Yet a different story here by the looks of it. But that camera does seem to be at an elevation, so that probably makes a bit of a difference. That's downtown.
Oh yes, that camera is getting rocked a little bit. Wow.
Yes. And we'll move on again here, and this here is the live cam at Ocean Drive, apparently. I don't know where this is, but I expect it's somewhere in Miami or along the beach. As you can see, probably raining there, certainly has been raining. The winds seem light, but things could get worse yet. We'll wait and see. And then we'll take you again back to the northern part of Miami Beach at Sunny Isles. That's what it looks like there. A little bit inclement perhaps. Okay, any update on South Carolina? Well, there's some flood watches and flash flood watches in South Carolina, but as for the hurricane, it could cause significant rainfall, could cause a storm surge, but right now it appears that, well, you've got at least another day to decide what you're going to do. It appears that I've just lost the Skype team, so that's mildly annoying, but we'll return with them at the start of the next hour if that could be made possible. And I guess we'll take a short break now up until the hour, and we'll return with more coverage at 3 o'clock. This is Force 13 Live. More to come.